Uddhav Thackeray, ex-Chief Minister of Maharashtra, while speaking at a rally in Jalgaon, said that the same situation that had been seen or witnessed during Godhra may be repeated yet again during the inauguration of the Ram temple, which is likely to happen in January 2024, just ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. He said a Godhra-like incident may take place during the return journey of Ram temple inauguration event attendees. Let's listen in to what Uddhav Thackeray had to say.
राम मंदिरासाठी देशभरातून लाखोच्या संख्येने हिंदू बोलवायचे, बस गाड्या ट्रेन सगळ्यातनं यायचं आणि तिकडनं झाल्यानंतर परतताना मध्ये कुठेतरी गोधरा घडवायचा. करू शकतात, हल्ला होऊ शकतो, कोणत्या तरी वस्तीमध्ये बस जाळतील, दगडफेक करतील, माणसं मारतील, पुन्हा देश पेटेल, पुन्हा तेच ते सगळं तेच ते आणि तेच ते पुन्हा घरांच्या होळ्या पेटतील आणि त्या पेटणाऱ्या घरांच्या होळीवरती यांच्या राजकीय पोळ्या ते भासतील.
Uddhav Thackeray insinuated that a large number of crowds are bound to converge for the grand inauguration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, which will most probably, like I said earlier, happen in January 2024, just months ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Uddhav evoked the incident involving Kar Sevaks returning from Ayodhya on board the Sabarmati Express, who were not only attacked, but also the train coach which was set ablaze at Godhra station in Gujarat on the 27th of February 2002, leading to several deaths that triggered large-scale riots across the state. The ex-Chief Minister of Maharashtra trained his guns on the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Rashtriya Shiv Sena and said that they have been unable to actually have any kind of homegrown icons to idolize, and instead they have appropriated national icons like Sardar Patel and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He said, and I am quoting him here, the BJP RSS have no achievements of their own, and it is not the size of the statue of Sardar Patel, the Statue of Unity in Gujarat's Kevadia, which at 182 meters is the highest such structure in the world, that matters, but his achievements. Uddhav Thackeray also said these persons, meaning from the RSS and the BJP, are not even close to achieving the greatness of Sardar Patel. Let's now listen in to some of the reactions coming in on Uddhav Thackeray's statement.
कुछ भी हो सकता है, जैसे सत्यपाल मलिक जी ने कहा कि ये तो अयोध्या में राम मंदिर पर बम फेंकवा सकते हैं चुनाव जीतने के, पुलवामा इन्होंने कराया है. तो उद्धव ठाकरे ने जो बयान दिया है बिल्कुल दुरुस्त बयान दिया है, और कुछ भी करा सकते हैं. और भारी स्तर पर दंगा भड़कने की उम्मीद तो है. चुनाव जीतने के लिए कुछ कर सकते हैं. जब जवानों को मरवा सकते हैं, 40 जवानों को ये मरवा सकते हैं चुनाव जीतने के लिए, इनका खुद का पत्रकार समर्थन करता है, पत्रकार क्या सुपर पत्रकार अर्नब गोस्वामी, तो एक कुछ भी कर सकते हैं.
राम जन्मभूमि के निर्माण के साथ गोधरा जैसे घटना कहने की बात उद्धव ठाकरे यह पागलपन, दिमाग या दिवालियापन को झलकाता है. पूरा देश स्वीकार किया है कि अयोध्या में राम का जन्म हुआ था. कोर्ट ने फैसला दिया है लोगों की भावनाओं के अनुरूप. ठीक है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी और हमारे नेता निश्चित रूप से अयोध्या में भव्य मंदिर बने इसका प्रयास करते रहे हैं. हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की यही भावना है कि वहां भव्य मंदिर बने, लेकिन राम के जन्मभूमि पर मंदिर बनने से विवाद होगा और गोधरा जैसा कांड होगा, तो शायद गोधरा जैसी कांड कराने के लिए अगर कांग्रेस के राहुल नेता उद्धव ठाकरे या महागठबंधन के कोई लोग चाहते हैं, तो समझिए कि महागठबंधन घमटिया गठबंधन का वह आखिरी दिन होगा, राजनीति वह समाप्त हो जाएगा.
ये वही उद्धव ठाकरे हैं जिनकी पार्टी और जिनके पिताजी ये क्लेम करते थे कि उन्होंने बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी है. आज वह इस प्रकार के बयान दे रहे हैं. असल में क्या है कि वह वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते हुए अपना जो मूल उनका जो आइडियोलॉजी है उसको छोड़ रहे हैं।
There are of course two reasons why Uddhav Thackeray had to evoke Godhra now. One is of course to lay claim to his father Balasaheb Thackeray's legacy, which is now clearly being appropriated by the loyalist turned competitor Eknath Shinde, and also the friends turned foe the BJP, who have continuously targeted Thackeray for forsaking the ideals of Balasaheb Thackeray in order to become chief minister by joining hands with the Congress and the NCP after the 2019 assembly polls. The second is Uddhav Thackeray has now become part of the India bloc and therefore moving closer to the idea of India, which was once ridiculed not only by his father but also by him. Before we get into this debate, let's listen into what Ayodhya Ram Mandir trustee priest Acharya Satyendra Das had to say about Uddhav's Godhra remark.
उद्धव ठाकरे ने बड़ा बयान दिया है। उन्होंने कहा है कि ऐसा ना हो कि राम मंदिर में दर्शन करके लौट रहे जो श्रद्धालु हैं उनके साथ गोधरा जैसी घटना ना हो जाए। इस विषय पे बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ राम मंदिर के मुख्य पुजारी सत्येंद्र दास जी मौजूद हैं, उन्हीं से बात करते हैं। सर, पंडित जी, आपने सुना कि किस तरीके से उद्धव ठाकरे ने बयान दिया है, इस पर क्या कहेंगे आप?
देखिए, जिस प्रकार से बाल ठाकरे जी का दिया राम मंदिर के प्रति समर्पित थे, उनका जो कार्य था, उनके विपरीत उनके पुत्र जो हैं उद्धव ठाकरे जी बोल रहे हैं, जो बहुत ही गलत बोल रहे हैं। और ये समझ में नहीं आता कि ऐसा भव्य दिव्य उत्सव भगवान राम का मंदिर बन के तैयार हो गया है, उसमें प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होगी जिसमें स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री जी के द्वारा होना है। तो इतने अच्छे कार्य में इस प्रकार की शंका करना बिल्कुल बेबुनियाद है। किसी प्रकार का कोई भी शंका करना गलत है। यहाँ बड़े ही शांतिपूर्वक रामलला का भव्य मंदिर का कार्य संपन्न होगा और जो आएंगे वो कुशल पूर्वक वापस भी जाएंगे। किसी प्रकार की घटनाएं नहीं होगी। ये जो उद्धव ठाकरे जी के दिमाग में इस प्रकार की भाषा बोल रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल गलत बोल रहे हैं। ऐसी शंका करना ही नहीं चाहिए। जहाँ शुभ कार्यों में ऐसा शुभ भावनाएं रखना चाहिए और उनको स्वयं यह कहना चाहिए कि यह हमारे भी कार्य रहे, हम भी उसमें, हमारी पार्टी भी और उनका जो पार्टी थी वो भी इसमें सम्मिलित रही। स्वयं बाल ठाकरे जी थे, तो उनको ही सोचना चाहिए कि यह कार्य बहुत ही सुंदर ढंग से हो, निर्विघ्न पूर्वक हो, कोई विघ्न न उपस्थित हो, ऐसी बात बोलना चाहिए। लेकिन जो बोल रहे हैं वो पार्टी के साथ जुड़ जाने से, कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ जुड़ने से उनकी बुद्धि भी इस प्रकार से विपरीत हो गई है। यहाँ जो कहा जा रहा कि भगवान राम का कार्य है और भगवान राम के कार्य में कोई विघ्न उपस्थित नहीं होगा, स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री जी आएंगे, उनके द्वारा ही यह कार्य संपन्न होगा और भव्य मंदिर में।
जिस तरीके से उन्होंने बयान दिया है उसमें लोगों में कहीं ना कहीं डर की स्थिति उत्पन्न हो सकती है।
डर उत्पन्न करने के लिए ही कर रहे हैं कि जैसा कि हो रहा है इस प्रकार से लोग न वहाँ जाएं और इस भय से कि कोई घटना हो सकती है, तो यह भावना उनके जो आई है यह भय उत्पन्न करने के लिए। जबकि राम भक्त कभी भयभीत होते नहीं और जिनको आना है वो निश्चित है अपने समय से आएगा। और भव्य दिव्य का जो आयोजन है जो यहाँ से किया जा रहा है उसमें सम्मिलित होंगे और भगवान श्री राम की भव्य मंदिर में विराजमान हो जाएंगे और उनका दर्शन करेंगे।
तो ये बैठक चल रही है 2 दिनों से, वीएचपी की आज बैठक का समापन है। जिस तरीके से रामलला की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा यहाँ पर की जाएगी उसको लेकर बैठक है, तो उस बैठक में क्या निकल कर अभी तक सामने आया है, किस तरीके से रूपरेखा तैयार,
क्या क्या कार्य होना है, वो सारे रूपों पर विचार किया गया है कि प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होने है, उसके बाद नगर भ्रमण करना है, तो किस प्रकार से किया जाए ये सारी पर, क्योंकि वो ट्रस्टी भी हैं और लोग भी हैं, सब लोगों ने विचार किया है कि हाँ इसको किस प्रकार किया जाए और चलेगा। ये 15 तारीख से ही शुरू हो जाएगा और 24 तक चलेगा। बीच में यदि प्रधानमंत्री जी की जैसी संभावना हो रही है कि संभव है कि वो 22 तारीख को आएंगे, तो 22 तारीख को ही रामलला के प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो जाएगी और रामलला अपने भव्य मंदिर में विराजमान हो जाएंगे।
You see how this is snowballing into a controversy. Many people are saying, come on, Uddhav Thackeray is just shooting in the dark. But my question is, will his shooting in the dark, will that arrow be just his tactic of staying relevant, or perhaps, who knows, he may once again become the son of his father, Bala Saheb Thackeray. To join us on the debate, my colleague Brijesh Pandey is here in the studio, and Kiran Tare, also my colleague, will join us, and Prasad Patil, who's a senior journalist, is joining us. But first up, before I go to the other guests, Brijesh, don't you think that it's a desperate attempt to renew the earlier avatar of the party that was Shiv Sena, and therefore Uddhav Thackeray is doing everything that is possible to kind of stir the hornet's nest, as it were?
Well, I won't call it desperate, but yes, one thing is very clear, Sudha, is that Uddhav Thackeray is trying his hand at all the weapons which had given his father the kind of legacy in the state of Maharashtra. Uddhav now is a very important player as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned. He has broken his the cords with the Bharatiya Janata Party, which now is the bigger Hindutva force, if I may say so, in the region. And Uddhav is trying to Uddhav is trying to regain the lost legacy, and is also hinting at the fact that that the BJP, when they talk of Ram Mandir, BJP when they talk of these issues, you never know to the extent they can go to exploit the sentiment in case something like Godhra happens. I think it's a politically a very controversial remark which has been made by Uddhav Thackeray. Going by the kind of reaction, I think the entire day will be buzzing with reactions from BJP and other political parties on what exactly Uddhav Thackeray meant.
Right. Prasad Patil, if I may bring you in here. Prasad Patil, like my colleague said, Brijesh said, that it's a very, very controversial political statement. But also my whole point is that, it is also a kind of warning. When somebody who has had the seat of the chief minister, and we all know the history of what is called the UBT Shiv Sena, digging up stadiums before a cricket match, vandalizing offices, and kind of arson, all kinds of things. When such a statement comes from somebody who has had such a responsible position, don't you think that it is really dangerous, more than anything, to get political mileage? You can't sit there and say, listen, the bogey of Godhra may once again happen.
Uddhav is certainly, as Brijesh said, he's trying to. Hello. Yeah, he's trying to, change the image of Shiv Sena, and which is why he has taken this starting line where he is projecting Shiv Sena as an inclusive party, and this Godhra statement is coming from that. And as you rightly said, this is a huge risk that he is taking, because this will prove counterproductive, as he will lose his entire Hindutva base. Because if we remember, in 2006, I think it was Energy Commission, appointed by Lalu Yadav. Yeah, they concluded that that it was not a sabotage, but it was an accident, and that really helped BJP. That kind of attempt to set that narrative really helps BJP. And here also, I think, we'll have to wait and see. But in my opinion, he has taken a huge risk by taking this like Ram Mandir.
All right. Kiran, I want to bring you in here. Kiran, the thing is, if you may recall last Dasera, at his speech, he spoke about how Muslims' rights have to be also protected. He evoked Bilkis Bano. He said during the riots in Mumbai, 92-93, they had seen to it that Muslim homes and those who are helpless, they were protected. Suddenly you saw this man whose party's legacy was only to kind of corner the minorities, not only minorities, South Indians, people from UP, everywhere, suddenly was becoming this messiah for the Muslims. And right now he is actually warning that look, a Godhra-like situation may happening. What is Uddhav Thackeray up to? Does he want a kind of a different avatar now? Don't you think it's too late in the day? Is he one confused politician unable to kind of get himself out of the box that he's gotten into? Kiran Tare.
Yeah, we should also remember one thing, that Sanjay Raut, the right-hand man of Uddhav Thackeray, he had said a few days ago that there will be riots after Ram Mandir's inauguration. So this is not for the first time that someone from Shiv Sena has indicated towards the communal disturbance after the Ram Mandir incident. My understanding is what Uddhav Thackeray is getting out of this. Uddhav Thackeray is trying to paint BJP in a very negative light, in a very bad light. He knows, and everybody knows, that BJP gained from Godhra. In fact, I remember one statement which was made by Shankar Singh Waghela when he was the leader of opposition in Gujarat. And Shankar Singh Waghela had said on the floor of the House that Godhra has given India two prime ministers. One was Morarji Desai and another was Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi was a pracharak in Godhra when he was in RSS early days, but the reference was to the Godhra riots. What Uddhav Thackeray is trying to say, that Uddhav Thackeray has directly alleged that the BJP will stage a communal riot after the inauguration of Ramtemple, which is, I think, which is a more serious charge. He is not predicting that the riot will happen. He is directly alleging that the BJP will ensure that the riots will happen and it get the political mileage of that riots. I think this is a very serious charge. He also has said there might be another Pulwama. Uddhav Thackeray in the same rally is saying that there might be another Pulwama. So, in a way, Uddhav is trying to say that BJP can go to any extent to gain votes and get sympathy of the voters. I think those are more serious charges than what Uddhav is trying to earn a political score on BJP.
Yeah, so, Brijesh, this is the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, fat lot. I mean, Shiv Sena, and I know that, they have orchestrated, mini riots in Mumbai and everywhere else. Balasaheb Thackeray has spoken the most kind of incendiary things about the minority. He used to call himself a Hindu Samrat, that tiger, where he came from and what he became. I mean, the Hindus used to cower and shiver. Of course, there were also the Sunil Dutt and the Sanjay Dutt incidents thrown in between to show that indeed his hriday is very large. So, I am asking you, which I started off, that by saying that BJP, by forewarning, by being prescient or, ominous, don't you think that he is not going to achieve anything? Because anyway, do you think that the entire Shiv Sena legacy has slowly and steadily shifted to Eknath Shinde?
Well, I can't be too sure about the legacy, but one thing I can be very sure about is that Uddhav Thackeray has the sympathy of the people, and this is being discussed. I mean, Prasad, I think Kiran would be the more appropriate person to answer what the situation exactly in Maharashtra is. But if I go by my conversation in Delhi, the BJP leaders feel that Uddhav has the sympathy. See, a lot has changed in the last, a decade time. When Balasaheb Thackeray was the dominant of the partner, he was the one who would sit, everybody would stand, and he is the one who used to dictate terms and everything. From that Shiv Sena to this Shiv Sena, where the emergence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2013 onwards saw BJP being the dominant party in whole of the region, be it Maharashtra or any other places. Uddhav has not been able to accept that thing. And the BJP also realizes, that now the time has come to go the whole hog. We cannot be subservient to Uddhav Thackeray's demand and all. And this is what had caused the maximum pressure. And what right now Uddhav Thackeray is trying to do is that Uddhav Thackeray is trying to, as Kiran very rightly said, is trying to paint BJP as a negative, party. They are trying to I would say dent the mileage which the BJP would be getting once there is a grand inauguration of a Ramtemple, because that is going to be a historic event, and it will also have a lot of sway in the mind of voters, especially in the North Indian voters and all, when they go to vote as far as 2024 general election is concerned. But so by trying to or making an attempt to paint the BJP as a party which might orchestrate riots immediately after this to reap electoral benefit is what exactly Uddhav Thackeray
but
is trying
that is
to
the pot calling the kettle black. I
Well,
think
absolutely.
it's like which is worse. I mean, this or that, and you are stuck between two polarizing factors in Indian politics. So I think, I mean, I'm not in politics, British, like you always say, nothing is permanent, only power is permanent. You keep saying that in the newsroom. I do agree with you. But if this had come from somebody else, I would have jumped. But for me, I think it is just a desperate attempt on his part to kind of stay relevant is what I feel. Look at it. Everyone is talking about it. There are bites and bites. We have yet another reaction which we will play in a bit. Prasad Patil, the whole Marathi Manus, the entire thing which was created, which is of course part of Maharashtrian political legacy. Do you think that after what Eknath Shinde did, and Eknath Shinde, I mean, you must know this, very clearly said, Balasaheb was the one who was responsible for the Ram Mandir thing. He sent people from here. He was the one who was pushing Narendra Modi all the time to build a Bhavya Mandir in Ayodhya. And he also hinted, without taking names, but today there are people who've forgotten the entire Ram Mandir issue. Do you think that the Marathi Manus label has now equally shifted or being appropriated by Eknath Shinde for Mr. Uddhav Thackeray to stand there in Jalgaon and make a comment about Godhra?
You have to understand, Shiv Sena, Shiv Sena was still is a predominantly an urban party. So when we say Marathi Manus, I mean, they have sizable Marathi votes in urban Maharashtra, not so much in rural Maharashtra, as far as my understanding. Okay. Shiv Sena has never got more than 21% vote share in Maharashtra. In all these years, they have never crossed 21%. In fact, last election was 2014 when they, contested on their own, they got around 18-19% of votes. So, that sympathy is there with Uddhav Thackeray, but whether that sympathy will win him elections, that is the problem, and which is why he needs Congress more than Congress needs him today.
Right, and
which is why I think he has taken this line.
Right, Kiran, what Prasad Patil said, he is now part of the India bloc, and we saw recently a comment by Udayanidhi Stalin on Sanatana Dharma. Some of the leaders from that India bloc like Mamata Banerjee came out and criticized it. Some of them kept quiet. You saw what Priyank Kharge did. I want to ask you, this statement of his, is it also because now he is part of a different idea of Bharat, that is India? Is it he trying to fit into this entire thing? After all, the Mumbai conclave happened under his auspices. So do you think this is also on his part to kind of slightly redux and become someone else?
One thing is pretty sure, that Uddhav Thackeray is trying to stay relevant in state politics. This is perfectly one. So the other point is that the sympathy which Uddhav had gained a couple of months ago, which has started declining after 2nd of July when Ajit Pawar joined the government. Now in Maharashtra, the entire political focus is on Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar, and the moves of Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar, what's happening in there. Uddhav Thackeray is slightly taken off from the media space whenever the politician Maharashtra is talked about. So Uddhav Thackeray is trying to regain that lost ground somewhere through his statements, somewhere through his political rallies and his actions. The other thing which you talked about, the INDI bloc, I was there at the Hotel Grand Air for 2 days, and after talking to several people, we realized that Uddhav Thackeray was the only person who was sure about the seat sharing. Mamata Banerjee was not sure, Sitaram Yechuri was not sure, even Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal, they had their own differences on seat sharing. But Uddhav Thackeray was the only person who was damn sure that the Congress and the NCP under Sharad Pawar will give him some seats to contest in the Lok Sabha election. So in a way, Uddhav Thackeray is trying to put a brave face amid all this political crisis, and is trying to say that yes, I am still there, I am there, but it is the BJP who is trying to divide the community, who is trying to divide the society in name of the religion, in name of ramtemple, and BJP might ensure that the right take place. I think Uddhav Thackeray has gone very desperate to underpin his importance in the state politics, because nowadays entire focus is shifted to Ajit Pawar, and Ajit Pawar has become a bigger hero than Uddhav Thackeray was 6 months ago. That is the sulky point.
So Kiran, you speak about hero, you speak about sympathy. You said there was some sympathy. I want to ask you, play the devil's advocate. Now look at this. After this statement, Eknath Shinde can also say, look, what was done to me, once again he's speaking out of turn, because Eknath Shinde's rise, his so-called crying that he was ignored, he was not even part of major decision making. Later he said they are not even fulfilling what Bala Saheb had said in the first place. They are ignoring all his ideals. I am the true Shiv Sena. Do you think it is also not kind of an advantage Shinde, because he can run away with this by saying you can try as much as you want to, but I have got the power now and I have people's sympathy. Do you think that may also work against Uddhav Thackeray?
It is advantage Shiv Sena only, advantage Eknath Shinde only when it is compared with Uddhav Thackeray, not with the other political parties. Does Uddhav Thackeray or does the Shiv Sena under Eknath Shinde, are they in a position to get a bigger pie of Hindutva votes? My guess and my reading is no. It is the BJP who is trying to get the maximum benefit of this alliance, not the Eknath Shinde faction or not the Ajit Pawar faction. So when it comes to the poll politics, when it comes to the arithmetic of the polls, in terms of the Hindutva votes, of course BJP will be much ahead than Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray. So this number 2 position, but Eknath Shinde, of course, he will try to underpin that he is the real heir of Bala Saheb Thackeray, who was talking in favor of Hindutva, and Uddhav Thackeray is the person who is drifted away from the Hindutva. That is line Eknath Shinde has taken. Whether it will be converted into votes, whether he can translate into a good number of seats, that is a question to be answered. But my guess is that Eknath Shinde is not getting much benefit of these things, because there is a BJP section who is trying to occupy all the Hindutva space in Maharashtra politics.
Right. Brijesh, look at it, the irony of it all. He says, First Udayanidhi Stalin talks about the 2 U's, as it were. Udayanidhi Stalin talks about Sanatana Dharma, abolish it, eradicate it. And then Uddhav Thackeray has now evoked Godhra. The other side always says the BJP will polarize just on, when the elections are hurtling down. If he spoke about Godhra, they said they'll do a new-like situation, they will see to it that there are riots in the country. But the irony of it all is that the India bloc 2 leaders have done it. So in a way, aren't they preempting the BJP in kind of, getting a hold over this entire sectarian or polarization?
Well, I think they're not preempting the BJP. They are virtually handing over the agenda on a platter to the BJP. Because, what Udayanidhi Stalin said, what Priyank Khadge said, may have won them 1 seat more, 2 seat more in the southern bastion. But when it comes to numerics, north or the major number of seats, it will help the BJP. So I don't understand, from where, the India alliance or the India bloc is thinking that those kind of statement is going to hurt BJP. Number 2, Sudha, I think, when it comes to Hindutva ideology or Hindutva plank, I think BJP is the biggest player. As far as that plank or ideology is concerned, in the state of Maharashtra also, in the election previous to 2019 and the before assembly election, there were many in Delhi who were saying that we are forced to carry on this marriage because we feel that now we are the dominant party and we are the one who will win more seats and should play the role of big brother. I think it was cautioned by senior leaders and in the central BJP that that we should not do away with it and we should not part with the Hindutva ideology, and moreover there was respect of Bala Saheb Thackeray. So when it will come to Hindutva vote or when it come to Ram Janmabhoomi vote or any of such thing, I seriously doubt if there is anybody who is a bigger mascot or who is a bigger champion of the Hindutva ideology than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So if this is the way India bloc is thinking of taking on the BJP, I think they must have to do a very serious rethink of their strategy.
All right, and talking about the BJP, we also spoke to Ram Kadam, who is a BJP leader. Let's listen in to what he had to say about this entire Godhra comment of Uddhav Thackeray.
उद्धव ठाकरे ने जलगांव में अपनी सभा में बड़ा बयान दिया है और आरोप लगाया है सीधे बीजेपी पर कि आने वाले साल में यानी कि साल 2024 में जब राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन होगा उस वक्त चूंकि वहां पर बड़ी संख्या में देश भर से लोगों को बसों में, ट्रकों में, ट्रेनों में लेकर जाया जाएगा उद्घाटन कार्यक्रम में और बीजेपी लोगों को लेकर जाएगी, लेकिन वापसी के समय गोधरा जैसी कोई घटना हो सकती है, ये एक साजिश के तहत। इस पर बीजेपी का क्या कहना है? राम कदम हमारे साथ में हैं, विधायक, प्रवक्ता, सर, जो उद्धव ठाकरे कह रहे हैं, क्या ये सिर्फ एक राजनीतिक द्वेष से कह रहे हैं या इस तरह की बात कहने के पीछे क्या वजह हो सकती है?
कांग्रेस के साथ जाने के बाद पुनः एक बार श्रीमान उद्धव ठाकरे जी का हिंदुओं को विरोध, हिंदुत्व को विरोध, राम भक्तों को विरोध प्रखरता से सामने आ रहा है। क्या कारण है राम भक्तों को बदनाम करने का? जो 450 वर्षों की संघर्ष की लड़ाई, जहां पर राम मंदिर बनने जा रहा है, एक हर्ष का, आनंद का, दिवाली का माहौल है, और उस माहौल को बिगाड़ते हुए देश के समस्त राम भक्तों को बदनाम करेंगे।
माहौल बिगाड़ने का काम कर रहे हैं क्या?
उन्होंने हिंदुत्व त्याग दिया है, बाला साहब के विचार त्याग दिए हैं, यह तो दिख रहा है। पर अब अन्य धर्मों को खुश करने के लिए इस प्रकार से वह हिंदू समाज को बदनाम करे, यह कतई हम सहन नहीं कर सकते। श्रीमान उद्धव ठाकरे जी का घिनौना रूप और उनकी बौखलाहट देश के सामने आ रही है।
सवाल यह है कि उद्धव ठाकरे हजारों की भीड़ में एक सभा में इस तरह का बयान देते हैं। मुख्यमंत्री रह चुके हैं, एक पार्टी के मुखिया हैं और पुरानी पार्टी के मुखिया हैं, जो लंबे समय से महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में बहुत बड़ी पार्टी करके तौर पर जानी जाती। तो इस बयान के क्या मायने हैं? उनके पास कोई ऐसी पुख्ता जानकारी है? आप लोग मांग करेंगे, क्योंकि अगर एक पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री इस तरह का बयान देता है, उसके पीछे कोई लॉजिक, कोई तर्क, कोई जानकारी?
ना उन्हें प्रशासन समझता है, ना उन्होंने मुख्यमंत्री तौर पर कोई ठीक से काम किया है। पूर्णतः मूर्खतापूर्ण बयान, हिंदुओं को बदनाम करने वाला बयान देने के पीछे उनका तर्क केवल इतना ही है कि अन्य धर्मों के वोट वो पा सके, अन्य कोई तर्क नहीं है। राम मंदिर के निर्माण में कौन जाएगा?
यानी कि
वही राम भक्त जाएंगे। तो ये राम भक्तों को पहले से ही बदनाम करने का षड्यंत्र कर रहे हैं। क्या इनके लोग जाकर के दंगे करने वाले हैं? यदि कुछ दंगे होते हैं तो उसका पूरी तरह से उसकी नैतिक जिम्मेदारी श्रीमान उद्धव ठाकरे जी की होगी। या तो वो बताए कि कौन से ऐसे कारण है, कौन से ऐसे बिंदु है, कौन से ऐसे तर्क है जिन तर्कों के आधार पे उन्होंने ये कहा। कोई तर्क नहीं है।
वो तो कह रहे हैं साजिश है। उनके पास कहां से जानकारी आई? बीजेपी सवाल पूछेगी उनसे?
बिल्कुल पूछेगी। उनके पास कहां से जानकारी आई, इसके साथ साथ इन सब के पीछे जो उनकी मंशा है, वह मंशा समस्त हिंदू समाज को बदनाम करने की मंशा है।
जो एक अक्सर पोस्टर मुंबई में, महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में नजर आता है कि शिवसेना का कांग्रेस नहीं बनने देंगे, और बाला साहब ठाकरे ने एक जमाने में कहा था कि जिस दिन ऐसी नौबत आएगी वो शिवसेना की दुकान बंद कर देंगे। आप अभी ये कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ एक तबके का वोट पाने के लिए वो ऐसे बयान दे रहे हैं, तो क्या इसकी स्थिति ऐसी बन गई है? शिवसेना
तो एकनाथ शिंदे जी के साथ है। जो बाला साहब वाली शिवसेना है वो श्रीमान एकनाथ जी के साथ है। अब उद्धव जी ने तो एक नई कांग्रेस बनाई है, तो नई कांग्रेस उद्धव जी के वे मुखिया है। उनके दल का नाम कुछ भी हो, पर उनकी विचारधारा कांग्रेस वाली विचारधारा है। उनकी विचारधारा स्वर्गीय बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के विरोध वाली विचारधारा है।
बिल्कुल। रामकदम जी, महाराष्ट्र के सातारा में एक घटना घटी है बीती रात, जहां पर हिंदू महापुरुषों को लेकर कुछ आपत्तिजनक टिप्पणी की गई थी, और वहां पर दूसरे समुदाय की तरफ से किया गया था, मुस्लिम समुदाय की तरफ से। वहां पर झड़प हुई है, पुलिस ने लाठीचार्ज भी किया है, वायलेंस हुआ है, आगजनी तोड़फोड़ की गई है, दोनों समुदाय ने एक दूसरे पर पथराव किया, आगजनी की गई। क्या कहेंगे इस घटना पर?
नहीं, कानून व्यवस्था अपना काम करेगी, पर ये इस प्रकार की घटनाएं जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी सत्ता में आने के बाद ये जानबूझ करके कुछ समुदाय को उकसाना कौन कर रहा है? ये सोची समझी साजिश के तहत एक और श्रीमान एकनाथ शिंदे जी और देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी के नेतृत्व में होने वाला अच्छा काम, और उस अच्छे काम से व्यथित हुआ विपक्ष। क्या इस साजिश के पीछे विपक्ष दल है? कौन नेता है इस साजिश के पीछे?
पुलिस
और
का खुद कहना है,
आम आदमी भी अगर इस बयान को अगर शांति से सुने तो वह भी तय करेगा कि इसके पीछे कौन जिम्मेदार है।
पुलिस की जांच में बात सामने आई है कि दरअसल 15 अगस्त को ही पहली बार पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद के सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट किए गए थे कुछ मुस्लिम समुदाय के लड़कों द्वारा। उसके बाद में लगातार इस तरह के महापुरुषों को लेकर भी विवादित पोस्ट इंस्टा व्हाट्सएप पर किए जा रहे थे। इस वजह से दंगा भड़का।
जब महाराष्ट्र की वर्तमान सरकार को धूमिल करने का कोई मुद्दा नहीं बचता, क्योंकि शब्द और विकास के काम हो रहे, लोग खुश है सरकार से, तो जब कोई मुद्दा ही नहीं बचता तब विपक्ष की यह राजनीतिक मजबूरी है कि इस प्रकार के हादसों को जन्म दे।
बिल्कुल राम कदम बता रहे थे कि दरअसल उद्धव ठाकरे ने जो बयान दिया है उसको लेकर उनके बयान की जांच की जानी चाहिए और वो सरकार को, प्रशासन को इस बात की जानकारी दें कि आखिर उनके पास इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे है, क्योंकि इस तरह के बयानात सिर्फ राजनीतिक तौर पर दे रहे हैं एक विशेष समुदाय वर्ग को खुश करने के लिए।
Prasad Patil, I'm going to refer to what Brijesh Pandey said and ask both of you your last comments on this. You think that the BJP is super king when it comes to any comments or putting a spin on the entire Hindutva narrative? According to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, what Uddhav Thackeray has done, he said it, it is controversial indeed, he accepted it, but he said, look, the game will be won by the BJP in the end. Do you concur? Do you agree?
I think so, because the BJP will portray it as Uddhav has completely abandoned Hindutva and he has gone and joined ranks with Congress. That is how BJP will play. Also, they will keep questioning the source of his information. Though Uddhav has not said, as if it was his own information, he has quoted Satyapal Malik and then said, yeah, it is possible. But BJP is going to reject it, and Uddhav will find it difficult to handle the situation.
Right. Kiran, I want to ask you that, do you think, let's talk about the India bloc. It seems like it's gotten on a wrong, not foot, but feet, two left feet, as it were. The Sanatana Dharma comment, and now this big comment about Godhra-like situation when the Kar Sevaks return in perhaps January 2024. Do you think that these two issues have already cost the India bloc a lot and its advantage BJP starting now until the elections?
Of course, when Udayinidhi Stalin had made those comments, no one from Shiv Sena except Priyanka Chaturvedi condemned that comment, but she ensured that she didn't name Udayinidhi anywhere in her comment. That's one thing, and now this thing questioning the intentions of the BJP on the Ram temple and the Godhra, linking with it with the Godhra. One thing is very clear, BJP has got a chance, which has got an opportunity to paint Uddhav Thackeray as anti-Hindu once again with very loud and clear. The BJP has taken this stand since Uddhav Thackeray has formed the government with the Congress and the NCP, but now it will go louder and louder, saying that yes, earlier it was only the political opposition, but now Uddhav Thackeray has questioned the intentions of the Ram Bhakt and the Kar Sevaks. This is going to have a very major blow to Uddhav Thackeray's Hindu followers. One thing is very sure, whether you are in BJP or you are in Shiv Sena or you are in any other party, the Hindutva voters in Maharashtra, they had some kind of sympathy for the Thackeray family for taking the side of BJP on the front of Hindutva. But slowly and slowly, Uddhav Thackeray is losing that. Earlier, he lost the political sympathy, and now he's losing his sympathy for the Hindutva-oriented party as well. This is going to have a bigger impact on Shiv Sena's, Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena's political prospectus in coming future.
Pandey, do you think that it will be advantage Eknath Shinde, or it doesn't matter according to you? Because what Kiran, our colleague, said, that it's eroding his constituency, that is Uddhav Thackeray.
It may be eroding Uddhav Thackeray's constituency, but I think right now in the state of Maharashtra, the BJP is the biggest player as far as the Hindutva plank is concerned, and it is the BJP which is going to have the maximum traction if there is any loss on the the hardcore ideology of the Hindutva with which the Thackeray's have always been associated with, when Bala Saheb Thackeray was in the play. So I think, the BJP will gain the maximum as far as dilution of this particular stand is concerned. The BJP will lose no opportunity whatsoever to drive home the point, to drill this particular statement as many times as they can, to drive home the point that Uddhav Thackeray is compromising on Hindutva. Uddhav Thackeray has sold the legacy of his father Bala Saheb Thackeray in order to remain in power, and that will be the line which the BJP will be doing, and I think they will gain the maximum as far as this particular statement is concerned.
All right. On that note, let me thank all of them. First up, my colleague Brijesh Pandey, my other colleague also Kiran Tare. Thank you very much, and Prasad Patil. It was such a pleasure having you on the show. It's time to say goodbye, but not to News9 Live. News and analysis will follow. Keep watching. Thank you.
मैं इमरान अहमद खान नियाजी सबके दिल से हल्फ उठाता हूँ.
When Imran Khan came initially into politics, he thought his personal popularity would be sufficient for him. It didn't happen.
The retired military generals are openly saying that Imran Khan is a better choice.
Imran Khan may have bitten a bit too much, more than what he can chew.
Implosion. This and more. Streaming on world's first news OTT. News9 Plus. Download now.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं क्योंकि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं.
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन की चाह में.
ऑल इंडिया का बच्चा कोटा जाता है.
This rat race is for rats, not for humans. So why should we even be a part of it?
The Rat Race. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT. News9 Plus. Download now.
Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, G20 will keep moving forward.
Long believed that the relationship between the United States and India will be one of the defining relationships of the 21st century.
There's of course the G20 in New Delhi, and I absolutely can't wait to be there.
भारत मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी है. हम राष्ट्र को भी एक परिवार के रूप में देखते हैं और विश्व को भी एक परिवार मानते हैं. वसुधैव कुटुंबकम.
Our effort is really to use the G20 to make the world ready for India and India ready for the world.
Lights, camera and the world stage is set for India's spotlight moment. It is touchdown New Delhi as the world's most powerful heads of state converge in the national capital for the 18th edition of the G20 meet on the 9th and 10th of September 2023. The powerful G20 countries are meeting at a time of great geopolitical strife and economic instability. such a time, India's leadership promises to be one of inclusivity, compassion and cooperation. Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one earth, one family and one future is India and Prime Minister Modi's message to the world.
For the Ministry of External Affairs and for us diplomats, this is like a Chandrayaan 3 moment.
Every Indian can feel proud of the fact that we will have, in many senses, one of the most unique and unprecedented presidencies of this very important organization.
I'm the G20 Sherpa. That means my job is to enable my leader, who's the Prime Minister, to reach on top of the Mount Everest.
Founded in 1999, after the global financial crisis of 1997-98 as a forum for finance ministers and central bank governors, the G20 is indeed the Mount Everest, where the world's largest economies converge. This is where global governance is shaped to address international challenges and seek collective cooperation to geopolitical, strategic, economic, social and environmental challenges. The Group of 20 or the G20 comprise 19 countries and the European Union. And here's some interesting trivia. G20 is not about 20 countries. It's actually about 43. 19 countries plus 27 members of the European Union. Together, the G20 members represent around 85% of the global GDP, over 75% of global trade, and about 2/3 of the world's population. For India, taking over the G20 presidency in 2023 is a rightful assertion of its power in the global south.
Our intention is very much to be a champion of Global South.
What is the Global South? These are the developing nations of the world, which together make up 39% of the world GDP and face the biggest impact of the world's challenges. Emerging economies of Latin America, Africa and Asia make up the Global South. India has consistently championed their voices and will use the G20 platform to further amplify their aspirations.
Not only the G20, but even earlier when we conduct foreign policy, our approach is human-centric globalization. How can India contribute to the larger global common good? How can we as a country that today is the fastest growing large economy in the world, a country that has just successfully landed its spacecraft on the moon, a country that is at the leading edges of digital public infrastructure and digital transformations. We have, in many senses, created the example of a successful and inclusive development model that we can share with the rest of the world.
Job losses, business closures, and disruptions in international trade impact most nations. The world will need India's newfound confidence to lead the global economic recovery and restoration of peace.
For the first time, as president of G20, India has played a very key and critical role in bringing around the key priorities. One is that important to understand that the world is getting into a recession. Germany has just gone into a recession. So 1/3 of the world is in recession. The post-COVID era has seen a vast segment of population go below the poverty line. And it's very important that we build up strong, sustainable, inclusive growth.
With the world transitioning to multipolarity, aligning interests and strengths are the need of the hour. Through the G20 presidency, India has the opportunity to contribute to this new and exciting multipolar global future. The G7, since its formation, was an elite club that kept emerging powers such as India out. Therefore, 21st century global governance saw the emergence of a number of more democratic forums in which India has played a pivotal role, such as the SCO, BRICS and G20.
India has assumed the G20 presidency at a moment when India is mattering more and more to the world. We also today have demonstrated a capability. We have demonstrated a capability of helping other countries.
Hectic preparations are on for this mega international event. Let's take you through some glimpses of what's happening on the ground in New Delhi. One of the big tasks is keeping the heads of state secure. Security has been beefed up in the national capital. Around 130,000 officers will be deployed as India hosts the world's most powerful leaders. New Delhi will also deploy anti-drone systems to prevent any aerial threats. India has leased 20 bulletproof limousines for the world leaders at a cost of 18 crore rupees. New Delhi's borders will remain closely guarded from the 8th to the 10th of September.
That's a part of our, hospitality arrangement and providing adequate security. Yes, we have so far, almost hosted 200 meetings, and we are very much, it's gratifying to know that all meetings have gone, they have been incident-free. So going by the reputation of India, we have to make all arrangements, go out of the way to ensure fullest security to visiting delegations.
A battery of the foreign press and our own media will get to cover the G20 extravaganza. The Ministry for External Affairs shared a glimpse of the arrangement for the media and the briefing rooms, especially created for the G20 Summit.
Here behind me, and I'll take you here, is the workstations for hundreds of journalists, and on that side are the briefing rooms that are being created specifically for special briefings, and you have also other facilities here. In addition, we have one more floor above this of the similar size, so you can imagine the large facility that is being built here, now almost ready to welcome journalists from across the world.
The 9th and 10th of September 2023 at the Bharat Mandapam promise to herald a new chapter for India on the global geopolitical stage. Power, pomp and prowess will be on full display as India leaves no stone unturned to wow the leaders of the world.
Pakistan is actually genociding Baloch people. So being Baloch is a crime. If you are a Baloch, it means in the eyes of Pakistan, you don't have any right to live.
The Chinese and Pakistanis are colonizing the Baloch and exploiting their resources.
The Baloch armed struggle will continue unless China withdraws, the Pakistan military withdraws from Balochistan and give Baloch complete authority to decide for themselves.
The Baloch feel that if they don't act now, they will become marginalized.
What lies ahead for Balochistan?
Balochistan, Bangladesh 2.0, streaming now.
देखिए इन्फॉर्म सिविल कोड के बारे में तो बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में जो डिबेट हुई ये तो उसी समय लागू हो गया होगा.
At that time, Dr. Ambedkar thought it will be optional. It was never to be imposed.
जो डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी है उसके सेक्शन उसकी धारा जो 44 है उसी में इस बात का जिक्र है कि द स्टेट विल एंडेवर टू इम्प्लीमेंट कॉमन सिविल कोड.
Article 44 of the Constitution says that we shall endeavor. So what does it mean? Right now we are not ready. We shall endeavor in some time in future. Nothing has been done over it and no consensus has been built.
Can it be argued that the directive principles of state policy, where Uniform Civil Code exists in Article 44, is bad for Indian citizens? Can the Constitution be bad for a set of citizens? No, it's a package. The Constitution in its entirety has been adopted. You don't have a choice as a citizen to say, I like Part 3, which are fundamental rights. I don't like Part 4, which is directive principles of state policy. So let me ask a question. Our constitution, we all became Indian citizens. Through the constitution, we are all equal before law, Article 14. We all are given the freedom of speech and expression, of life and liberty, protection of life and liberty.
Article 25 is fundamental right. It will endanger their rights to to propagate their religious traditions, to follow their own customs and traditions.
Constitution is one. Citizens are one. This is not about religion. This is about rights of Indian citizens.
You cannot just simply support a proposition which says personal law has no place in India. You can't say that. Anyone saying that there are many countries in the world that have only one single law is not true. Even America doesn't have one single law. Every state has its own law. So why are they speaking lies about something that is, according to them, very important for India?
इस प्रकार के जो फैमिली लॉज हैं, आपके व्यक्तिगत अपने तरीके से रहेंगे, रीति रिवाज लोग कंफ्यूज करते रिचुअल्स को लेकर। आपका काजी विवाह कराएगा, मेरे यहाँ पंडित कराएगा, कि यहाँ 7 फेरा होगा, ये आर्य समाजी तरीके से होगा। लेकिन एक व्यक्ति एक विवाह करेगा, शादी का रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए, इसमें क्या किसी को आपत्ति होनी चाहिए?
Download now. China won't let us rest easy on our borders, but they will keep flooding our markets. What does Xi Jinping really want?
I think he wants the Indian market, no doubt about it. It's really a matter of showing their dominance.
India's great Chinese conundrum.
Nobody can contain it. Not the United States, not China, not anybody else.
Frenemies. Streaming now.
मैं ब्राजील के राष्ट्रपति और मेरे मित्र लुला डी सिल्वा को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और मैं उनको प्रेसिडेंसी का गेवल सौंपता हूं। एक्सेलेंसीज, जैसा आप सब जानते हैं, भारत के पास नवंबर तक G20 प्रेसिडेंसी की भी जिम्मेदारी है। अभी 2.5 महीने बाकी हैं। इन 2 दिनों में आप सभी ने अनेक बातें यहां रखी हैं, सुझाव दिए हैं, बहुत सारे प्रस्ताव रखे हैं। हमारी ये जिम्मेदारी है कि जो सुझाव आए हैं उनको भी एक बार फिर देखा जाए कि उनकी प्रगति में गति कैसे लाई जा सकती है। मेरा प्रस्ताव है कि हम नवंबर के अंत में G20 का एक वर्चुअल सेशन और रखें। उस सेशन में हम इस समिट के दौरान तय विषयों की समीक्षा कर सकते हैं। इन सब की डिटेल्स हमारी टीम आप सभी के साथ शेयर करेगी। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप सब इससे जुड़ेंगे। योर हाइनेसेस, एक्सेलेंसीज, इसी के साथ मैं G20 समिट के समापन की घोषणा करता हूं। वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर का रोड मैप सुखद हो। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य, यानी